I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is Stow clock?
You should ask me the time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
Well, then there is no true lover in the forest. Our sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time trots withal, who time ambles withal, who time gallops withal, and who time stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry. He trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized. If the interim be but a sennight, time's pace is so hard it seems the length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks Latin and a rich man that hath not the gout. These time ambles withal.
Who doth he gallop withal?
With a thief to the gallows. For though he go as softly as foot can fall, he thinks himself too soon there.
Who stands it still withal?
With lawyers. In the vacation, for they sleep between term and term, and then they perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, on the skirts of the forest like fringe upon her petticoat.
Are you native of this place?
That's the coney you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer than you could purchase and so remove the dwelling.
I have been told so of many. Indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man. One that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I've heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman, to be touched with so many giddy offences as he hath generally taxed the whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of the principal evils he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principal. They were like one another as halfpence are, every one fault singing monstrous till his fellow folk came to match it.
Prithee, recount some of them.
Oh, no. No, I will not cast away my physic but on those that are sick. There is a man, haunts our forest, that abuses our young plants with carving. Rosalind, on every bark, hangs odes upon hawthorns, elegies upon brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaked. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
Well, there are none of my uncle's marks upon you. Well, he taught me how to know a man in love, in which cage of rushes I'm sure you're not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. But I'll pardon you for that. Then your sleeve should be unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it. You may soon make her that you love believe it. Oh, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. But in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees wherein this Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
And are you so in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner. He was to imagine me his love, his mistress. And I set him every day to woo me. At which time would I, being but a moonish youth, grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything, as women are most part cattle of this colour, would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him, that I drove my suitor from his mad humour of love into a living humour of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and live in a nook, merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And thus will I take upon me to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there not be a spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you. if you would but call me Rosalind.